This is case number 23-CR40846, the state of Ohio versus Sierra Garland.
Yes, what you are seeing is back in 2024, Sierra Garland was on a website called Cage Ladies where she would be getting out soon. However, it would not last long as her crimes escalated from petty theft to gun charges to blah 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 to something so much worse. The reading of these crimes are so heinous that they would never make it onto YouTube, but take it from me, it is horrible. She has been in prison before and seems to show zero remorse as she's trying to find her next partner in crime or sugar daddy.
Wait, what?
According to court records, she was released in 2025 and apparently found a Clyde to her perverted Bonnie as she was arrested on these new crimes. She pleaded guilty to CP and other SA-related charges. We will spare details for these crimes, however the sentence may anger you.
The Prince of Darkness. I understand that. We at no time can ever let our guard down. It's something that you just have to maintain. Certainly, while since you've been caught in this, the risk of recidivism is probably pretty low, as demonstrated by your ORS score. But there is an element of punishment to this as well. I have an obligation to our community, to our society, to punish you now, and to do what I can to protect young, innocent children. I don't know that most people are aware of this, but I probably do search warrants. It's getting more and more anymore for this type of behavior in our county, which is disgusting. In good communities, Waynesville, Springboro, Mason. These are good communities with low crime rates. But this crime cannot be ignored. The court is going to find that you are not amenable to community control and that prison is necessary to fulfill the purposes and principles of sentencing, most explicitly punishment. So on count one, the court is going to order you to serve a period of minimum term of imprisonment of 8 years, maximum term of 12 years. I'm going to go through the other ones, counts 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. The court's going to order you to serve a term of 8 years of imprisonment on each of those to be served concurrent with count 1. Counts 3, 5, and 6, term of imprisonment of 8 years, and again, all of those to be served concurrent with each other and with count 1. Count 4, and that's counts 18 months on each of those concurrent, and counts 35 through 63, 12 months on each of those to be served concurrent with each other. So your sentence is a term of imprisonment of 8 years.
What the? See, that's the type of... I'm gonna kick your ass.
Ow!
You have 145 days jail time credit. Court finds that you're indigent for the purpose of any fines, costs, or other financial sanctions. You're also subject to a mandatory period of post-release control, which means when you are released from prison, the Adult Parole Authority will supervise you for a period of 5 years. If you violate that supervision, the Adult Parole Authority can return you to prison for up to 1/2 of this court's original minimum term sentence. If your violation is that you commit another felony, you can be returned to prison for 1 year or the period that you have left on PRC, whichever is longer, and that time would run consecutive to any additional prison time that you get sentenced to. You have now been convicted and you are now a tier. You are required to register in person with the sheriff of the county in which you establish residency within 3 days of coming into that county, or if temporarily domiciled for more than 3 days. You are also required to register in person with the sheriff of the county in which you establish a place of education immediately upon coming into that county. If you establish a place of education in another state but maintain a residence or temporary domicile here, you're also required to register in person with the sheriff or other appropriate official in that other state immediately upon coming into that state. You're also required to register in person with the sheriff of the county in which you establish a place of employment if you have been employed for more than 3 days or an aggregate of 14 days in a calendar year. If you establish a place of employment in another state but maintain a residence or temporary domicile here, you're also required to register in person with the sheriff or other appropriate official in that other state if you've been employed for more than 3 days or an aggregate of 14 days in a calendar year. Employment includes volunteer services. You are required to provide to the sheriff temporary lodging information, including address and length of stay, if your absence will be for 7 days or more. After the date of the initial registration, you're required to periodically verify your residence address, place of employment, and/or place of education in person at the county sheriff's office no earlier than 10 days prior to your verification date. If you change residence address, place of employment, and/or place of education, you shall provide written notice of that change to the sheriff with whom you most recently registered and to the sheriff in the county in which you intend to reside or establish a place of employment and/or place of education at least 20 days prior to any change and no later than 3 days after change of employment. If the residence address change is not to a fixed address, you shall include a detailed description of the place or places you intend to stay and no later than the end of the first business day immediately following the day you obtain a fixed address. You must register with the sheriff that fixed address. You're further advised in accordance with federal law, you must report any international travel to your registering authority no less than 21 days prior to travel. Failure to do so may subject you to criminal prosecution. You shall provide written notice within 3 days of any change in vehicle information, email addresses, internet identifiers, or telephone numbers registered to or used by you to the sheriff with whom you most recently registered. You are required to comply with all of these above described requirements for a period of 25 years with in-person verification every 180 days. Since your expected residence address is located in Warren County, you shall register in person no later than 3 days after your release to the Warren County Sheriff's Office at 822 Memorial Drive, Lebanon, Ohio. Failure to register, failure to verify residence at the specified times, or failure to provide notice of a change in residence address or other required information as described above will result in criminal prosecution. Regardless of whether you receive good time credit, you will be released when you finish your minimum term unless the Department of Corrections determines that you must remain in prison for bad conduct. The court is not involved in that decision. If you are not released when your minimum term ends, you will serve an additional specified period of time and given a new release date. You will serve until that date unless you are again denied release. This process could repeat until you are released or you finish your maximum term sentence. You do have a right to appeal the court's decision of your sentence to the 12th District Court of Appeals. If you want to appeal, you must file your notice of appeal within 30 days of today's date. If you can't afford to pay for the transcript or anything necessary for your appeal, that can all be provided to you at no cost. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court will appoint one for you at no cost. Mr. Hardman, did I leave anything out?
Your Honor, we would just ask one thing, which would be the confiscation and destruction of the phone which contained the contraband.
Any objection? Seems harsh from your perspective, probably from their perspective, it's probably not harsh enough. The court tries to fashion a sentence that is unique and individualized. I do wish you luck, and I hope you find your way. Mr. Deaton?